Good morning, YouTube. This is the Prince of Milav, and this is Star Wars: The Old Republic. I figured that I'd bring you along in the beta weekend when I became available to me. Gigantic download, about 20 gigs, but I figured that I'd present a little bit of what I've been seeing here. What we have is my character Zasana. She is a Sith Inquisitor, although she's old enough to either become a Sith Sorcerer or a Sith Assassin. I haven't quite chosen yet. Yes. That's one of the companion characters for... That one's for the Bounty Hunter. She's actually quite neat. And the reason why I chose my Sith Inquisitor is because I figured that you all wanted to see some lightsaber action, which I can get you. This is the second world. It is the world of Drummond Koss. Oh yeah, and how about some stomping? What I meant to do was that for the lightning and the rain. And, you know, a little bit of... You can even walk around, dodge back and forth while slicing through things. Oh! And that's what this is for. Pretty much ended. Oh, maybe not. Needless to say, I'm of a semi-sufficient level to take things on like this. Although, they did nearly slaughter me in Oh! No, you don't. And while I was at it, I completed a mission. That's lovely. Star Wars: The Old Republic has some really interesting maps and very, very lovely shaded regions. This in Drummond Koss is pretty much just raining all the time. The previous region that we came from as a Sith Inquisitor is Korriban, which is the ancient Sith homeworld, covered in tombs, mostly with this strange sort of Arabian Egyptian bent. Giant statues. They seem to be loving that. As we can see, statues everywhere. On this planet, there's in fact a giant colossus of some Sith Lord that was never finished because of a slave rebellion. Star Wars: The Old Republic is spending a lot of time... Man, that can get really frustrating when you're standing around and just random people's companions are babbling as loud as possible. Apparently it's a recognized bug in the game. I have my companion put away at the moment so that he won't bug me, but other people's are going to be shouting in my ear the entire time, no doubt. As you can see, it's pretty much very much a Star Wars game. You got speeders zipping past. We have a creepy rainforest jungle going on here. You know, buildings sticking out, stuff like that. This is definitely an Empire planet. It's well built up and it's highly civilized. The game presents several new affects to at least one new affect to MMOs, which is a morality system, light side, dark side, as you might have suspected. We've seen this before in Fate and... Oh, not again. We've seen this before in stuff like... games like Mass Effect, and where you can be Renegade or Paragon. Here it's light side and dark side, and even though my character is Imperial scum, well, Rebel scum, Imperial dog, she and a Sith Inquisitor, I've been playing her mostly light side, which means mostly making decisions that are comforting and you know, increase a person's harmony and peace. Although sometimes that does include lying to them. There are pieces of equipment in the game that require particular levels of either dark side points or light side points, and I suspect that dark side clothing is more grim and gothic, whereas light side is more glowing and pure looking, white and black, that sort of thing, the old red trim, etc. The game is actually quite nice looking, much better now that I've been able to get my computer to force it to use the appropriate video card. It used to be using the onboard integrated card, making it look kind of terrible. With very, very... Ooh, lightning. I love that. That is nice. But there's also a second system called the social system. When you... a lot of the game is actually run inside of conversations. Almost every conversation that you can get into with NPCs is cinematic and scripted and involves conversation decisions. And in these decisions is your light side and dark side. But there's a social system where when you are part of a group... Oh yeah, the chat is kind of ridiculous. It's very, very rambunctious and vulgar at the moment. But the chat, when you get into a chat with a group, decisions are made by the group, and then everyone rolls some particular, like 1 to 200. And the winner of the roll out of the entire group gets to choose the direction of the conversation, all the way up to what you're going to do, like outright attacking a person, killing them, letting them go, that sort of thing. However, fortunately, if your group make a dark side decision, and you make a light side decision, you still get your light side points, even though your compatriots shot the person or did whatever horrible thing. The social system also develops a type of reputation called social, and as your social goes up, you're able to use more items. In fact, there are some they look like role-playing items that are specifically linked to the amount of social that you have. I'm seeing that some of these elements are going to affect gameplay, in that especially the social system is going to push players together more often. It will probably enable RP guilds to form around running flashpoints, which are the instances, the instance missions, which are actually more like short story arcs, like episodes. And they last between half an hour to 40 minutes, depending on how quickly you hack your way through them. And I kind of see those as, pushing RP guilds to doing those more often to get their characters enough social points to wear interesting clothing. I see people picking characters, light side, dark side, depending on the type of equipment. And we'll probably see some interesting, nuanced group development building out of these decisions that people are making on how they're going to approach social, how they're going to approach the light side and dark side. And not only that, it is a gorgeous landscapes. I mean, this is just one of the worlds. Korriban is the scary sort of desert. There's also Hata, which is where the bounty hunter and the Imperial agent start, which is a weird sort of dry scrubland swamp. And people continuously and still are still sitting around in the chat comparing this game to World of Warcraft and asking if it's probably going to, kick it in the teeth, which, frankly, I don't see happening. This game is gorgeous. It's definitely a sci-fi work. It's fairly masterful. The bugs are minimal. It's doing an excellent job, and as I said, it still runs on this system's integrated graphics card. It doesn't look as gorgeous, but it functions just fine once you tune it down, which is one of the glories the World of Warcraft had, was virtually anyone could run it, even if they couldn't run it looking very good. Plus, it may not beat World of Warcraft, but it definitely gives us a worthwhile, wonderful science fiction MMO to play. And not only that, who doesn't like being able to throw lightning? There are numerous other... yeah, let me just take this guy apart first. Die, twit. There are, of course, 7 other classes you can choose from, 4 in each of the 4 of them exist in each of the factions, Republic and Sith Empire. And each of those branches out into 2 advanced classes once you hit level 10. So there's a lot of stuff to choose from. This is definitely, strongly, a theme park MMO. And each character, each class, has a storyline that you follow from, birth to death, in essence. I don't know what happens once you've broken out of your prologue and your main storyline. The Seth Inquisitor has this really neat story about her initially being a slave and being a Force user, shoved into the role of joining the Sith Academy and becoming a Sith apprentice or dying. All of them have really interesting, compelling, beautiful storylines, and I'm probably going to play all of them. Of course, being the beta, I'm going through the Imperial ones because chances are I'm never going to play Imperial again, because I really don't like them very much. Although, truth be told, having played the storylines of multiple Imperial characters, I am liking them a lot more. But that's about all the time I've got for this video. I hope that you guys have a lovely night, and good night, and good dreams.